No, I didn't just step out of the shower. It's raining today in Williamsburg, Virginia. Good thing the Apple Watch is waterproof. I had to walk through this into my office today. So I've now been living with the Apple Watch again for about 3 months. Now, as a lot of you know, I had switched over from an Apple Watch to a Garmin, and actually as my sort of like evening carrier, I'm now wearing that beautiful Casio G-Shock. But anyway, I went over to the Garmin Instinct Solar, and after using that for about 6 months or so, the watch, as great as it was, started having some issues with its battery life. So even though it had a promised month-long battery, I started getting at best maybe about 5 days with it. So then I decided to switch over to the Garmin Fenix 6 to see if it's basically more expensive, more feature-rich brother is any better and worth the extra like $400 for it. By the way, the answer is probably no. Anyway, didn't have the greatest experience with that either. Had a lot of issues with the heart rate monitor and a couple of other little quirks with the UI. Basically, Garmin just needs to learn how to make a much simpler sort of interface. Even people that claim to be seasoned Garmin wearers don't really know how to use their Garmin watches, but I digress. This video today is about the Apple Watch. So, I've been using the Apple Watch now for a couple of months again. And I gotta tell you, even though for some reason I keep going back to it to try to like it and want to love it, I just kind of fucking hate it. So there it is, cat's out of the bag. The Apple Watch is really, really great in the sense that it's got all these features and it's got that classic Apple touch to it where it's easy to use, it's intuitive for the most part, and it just sort of is, right? But the thing about the Apple Watch is it's always beckoning for your attention, right? I mean, I'm in the middle of a workout and all of a sudden it bumps up on the screen like I'm trying to look at what my heart rate is or what my calories are, but instead I'm greeted with a screen that says, like, are you sure that you're not finished with your workout? Quick interjection, because I know I'll catch hell for this in the comments section. Yes, I know you can disable that feature and the hand washing and the excess noise feature, but that's not really the point I'm trying to make. The point is that it's still annoying and the Apple Watch always is crying for your attention. Do you want to pause? Do you want to resume? Like, what do you want to do? Like, just do it, Apple Watch. Just like keep tracking. Another annoying thing is whenever you have the Apple Maps on and you're like, let's say on a bike ride and you're trying to navigate around city streets, when you have your watch, if you have the always on screen, so that's on the Apple Watch 5 and 6, if you have your watch sort of, on like a bike handlebar, right? It will blur the map screen and put the time over it. And that is not only dangerous, but it's kind of defeats the goddamn purpose. But it's especially dangerous because if you're riding a bike and now all of a sudden you want to check to see what you're looking at map-wise, if you have to take a right down 5th Street, for example, now you've got to take your wrist up off the handlebar and you probably have to tap it a couple of times because for some reason the whole raise your wrist to wake thing never seems to ever work. And by that point you're wrestling with your watch instead of paying attention to the road. And I do find that to be very dangerous, both on a motorcycle, on a regular bike, pedal bike, on a moped, whatever it is that you're on. So that's another really big downer for the Apple Watch. I also think that it bugs you too much throughout the day, whether it's breathing, whether it's noise, whether it's, whatever. The Apple Watch is always alerting you with something. It's kind of like the Tineco vac mop of watches.
Charging has commenced. Auto-detecting whether to run self-cleaning cycle. Please clean dirty water tank cleaning solution. Please begin self-cleaning cycle.
So as powerful as the Apple Watch is, it does have its limitations, and I think at the end of the day, I really still can't stand it and I don't like it, and I'm always on the search for something different. Now, I suppose depending on who you are, you might like the Garmin better. It does have, it's a little bit better oriented for like hikers and people that don't need the battery life on the Apple Watch is paltry, right? You get basically a day out of it and then you have to recharge every night. So, okay, you kind of get into the habit of doing that, but be that as it may, it's not really a serious watch for hikers. The Apple Watch definitely has the best and most accurate heart rate monitor of like all of the offerings out there. Apple is really obsessed about your sort of like fitness tracking. I love the Move Goal. There's just something about the Apple Watch that is very attractive. It looks good, it's simple, it's a nice thing, but really I gotta say there's just too many annoyances with it that for me to kind of like stick around. Problem is that if you move over to a watch like the Garmin, then you have to worry about the heart rate accuracy issues, also maybe a potential build quality problem. Then you've got the offerings from like Withings or Withings or whatever it's called. You know, they have this like new Steel HR, they've got the new Scan Watch coming out. But I've also now heard some things about the Scan Watch not potentially being all that accurate. Is there really a great smartwatch that you can buy yet? And I'm beginning to think that maybe not. They all kind of have their limitations and their sort of drawbacks that will probably detract most users for certain things. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. The Apple Watch is certainly a fine product and it does the job for most people, but I don't know, something to be said about just using a good old classic dumb watch. But then how do you track your movement and heart rate and all that stuff? So, tough. Anyway, wrap it up. Been living with the Apple Watch again for about 3 months or so. I find it to be just as annoying as it has always been, if not more annoying, because every time Apple does an update, they add one more little thing for the Apple Watch to bug you with. Now you've got the noise and the SpO2 and all this other stuff. I just sort of wish the Apple Watch existed as a watch a little bit more rather than something to sort of like notify you all the time. It's very distracting. And really, I think the whole blurring the maps thing, basically the always on screen is very half-assed and not thought out well from Apple. They really, it's very anti-Apple. They didn't make it a very intuitive thing. They need to come up with a better way to save battery life, but allow you to actually have an always on screen. Maybe stop adding useless features that nobody needs or gives a shit about. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's it. That's the Apple Watch. If y'all have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out into the comments section. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. And do it anyway, even if you didn't find it helpful. And we will be back with another video real soon.